Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I welcome you all to the live stream. Ishtyak, Lucas, Jackson, Siddharth, Faiz, Jug, Raghav. Thank you so much everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. Um, so for anyone who celebrates, I know it's late, but Merry Christmas for anybody who celebrated. I hope you had a great one. And I welcome you all to the Boxing Day, guys. And finally, football is back. Siddharth says, hope you're not making any last minute transfers this weekend. I am never going to make a last minute transfer again. Trust me. It hurt. And you know what hurt more? It was such a long week and I had nothing to do but sit and think about what would have happened had I not made those transfers. My word, was it a difficult one? Very difficult one to take. But moving on, guys. Vice says, fun fact of the day, Mourinho didn't lose a single home game between March 2002 and April 2011, managing 4 clubs, playing 150 games. You mean on Boxing Day, right? So that's good. But Mourinho doesn't play today, he plays tomorrow. So let's hope for the best, guys. So before we move on, guys, you can look at my team. This is my team for the game week. No last minute transfers, no last minute panic, and I haven't been on Twitter the whole week, so I don't know about any news about any benchings. And honestly, I don't want any news about any benchings anymore. So I've made one transfer to my team, guys, and Kevin De Bruyne has sadly made way for Mo Salah, and it wasn't the easiest decision to make for my team because De Bruyne has a very easy game against Newcastle and he could easily punish me. But I just wanted Salah back in my team because after making a mistake last week, I just didn't want to take a hit. So yeah, as I said in my Catharsis video this week, every player I transfer out this season possibly has a blast. So Kevin De Bruyne has a very good chance to do well. So by the way, guys, if you're wondering, like, Ahmed says, won't you change Chilwell? I have my first wildcard, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep Chilwell on the bench for this week, and just activate my wildcard as soon as the game week starts. Chilwell is gonna go out of my team, and possibly somebody like Cancelo is gonna come into my team. So, it's all because I have my first wild card. Otherwise, I would have taken a hit. I would have transferred him out for Cancelo this week. But since I have my wild card, I just didn't think it was, needed to take a hit. Alright. Michael says, would you play Soucek at home to Brighton or Jones home to West Brom? Michael, to be honest, I'd play Soucek. I think he's nailed on to start and he has more goal threat than Jones does, in my opinion. Bob says, do you think Pulisic is better than Grealish for game week 19 to 25? The problem with Pulisic is, I think he's a good FPL asset, Bob. Don't get me wrong. The problem with having Pulisic is that he only has open play to score his goals. He rarely scores any headers. I mean, mostly he's just gonna make a run, dribble, win a penalty, or maybe score a goal that way. So I just don't like having these kinds of players in my teams. Grealish, at the moment with El Ghazi playing, I think Grealish also has only one way to score a goal, but I think he's the talisman of that Aston Villa team. And if you have to make a choice, I'd possibly still go with Grealish a little bit, right? FPL Jug says Walker and Jesus are down with COVID. Yeah, that's very unfortunate to hear, and I hope they get well soon. But for FPL, what does that mean? That possibly means that Ferran Torres is possibly gonna start, Sterling is gonna start, and maybe Mahrez is gonna start. I'm just not sure that Aguero is still fit enough to start a Premier League game. So that is what I'm not sure about. But I think Ferran Torres is gonna start. Last week, KDB was kind of playing false 9. That would be interesting, right? If he does that again. Jayaditya says, Dallas or so far to replace Chilwell. I mean, if you're asking for this week, my friend, I'd say Dallas, possibly because he has a decent fixture. I mean, long term, they are both good options, and you wanna get them both in your team before the double game week. But for this week, I'd say maybe Dallas because he has a little bit more attacking threat. Fudzali says, "Hey Wiz, just for my third striker, I have Brewster, but he's not starting games and scoring. What's your thoughts on Brewster to read?" To be honest with you, my friend, I'd say if you have Brewster, and if he's in your starting 11, that could be a problem. But if he's just on your bench, I don't think you need to spend a whole lot more money on Reed in place of Brewster. You can keep Brewster, because you should not spread your funds around too much at this point in the season. Michael says KDB benched. No chance. He didn't play against Arsenal in the midweek. KDB is gonna start, definitely. And he's gonna bang as well from what we know this season. Vice says, "By the way, Wiz, my name is pronounced like Fez Ahmed Fez." Okay, I'm sorry, Fez. Apologies. Fez. So Fez, yeah. I'm gonna call you Fez Ahmed Fez, right? So Fez. Pro Gamer says De Bruyne is out of your team, so he's gonna blast this game week. Let's see what happens, Pro Gamer. But he could bang. I'm not against that. But I had to take a -4 hit if I had to get in Salah in place of anybody else, even in place of Bruno Fernandes. Actually, my first thought was that Bruno Fernandes should go out of my team. Let me show you what was my dilemma. So if I transfer out Bruno Fernandes, he's 10.8 for me, right, to sell, and if I had to buy him back next game week, he would be 11 million. So that would be a loss of 0.3 million, and also take a -4 hit to get Salah in place of Fernandes. So I thought it's too much to pay for just one game week, and that is the reason I decided to take out De Bruyne instead of Bruno Fernandes. Excuse me. And I do appreciate that De Bruyne has the better fixture, but sometimes you do have to make these decisions. Jackson says, any 4.3 million defender who's going to start, as I need Salah and need funds. Possibly Gilman, Lewis from Newcastle, but he's not sure to start. I have to look at who's the cheap defender who starts. Actually, this season there have not been many cheap defenders who are actually starting, and it's pretty surprising, to be honest. Who's the cheapest striker? Kilman seems to be the one who's gonna start. Other than that, I just don't see any cheap defenders starting, and that also depends on whether Bowley is injured or not, my friend. So yeah. Bob says, even with Pulisic double game week. Bob, yeah, you're right about the double game week, but that is possibly the only reason you might want to think about getting Pulisic. But do you think he's fit enough, or do you think he's the kind of player who can start 2 games in 1 week? I just don't think Lampard is going to risk him. It's better to get somebody who you are sure is going to start both the games, right? Ahmed says, we need wildcard suggestions. Ahmed, I have my wildcard remaining, and after this game week is over, I'm going to make a detailed video about my wildcard plans and how I'm going to go with, my strategy about that. Sudeep says, hey Wiz, hey Sudeep, welcome my friend. FPL Sam says, this is the week Aguero bangs on goal. Would have loved to own him. Honestly, my friend, if Aguero starts, he could bang against Newcastle. But is he match fit? Is he fit enough to play 60 minutes? I'm just not sure. That is the reason, very few people have been taking punts on him. But you can, Sumesh. You are the type of person who does take punts on these kinds of players, and they do pay off. Congratulations on your wonderful score last week. Michael says, what's your chip strategy? Alright, so before I answer any more questions, my friends, I'd go and tell you how I'm going to approach the blanks and doubles, so that just what I'm going to do about it. So the plan right now in my mind is, guys, that I'm going to kind of free hit in game week 18, and that is final. Let me show you what I want to do and what the plan is. All right. So when I want to make my wildcard team next week, right? I want to make a team which is not totally focused on game week 19. I am not going to overly concentrate on game week 19, the double game week. The reason being, there are 3 game weeks between game week 16 and game week 19, and not even 3. I think there are 4, 16, 17, yeah, the 3 game weeks between game week 16 and 19, and I want to focus on that as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of try to make this kind of a team. By the way, guys, if I'm not answering your questions, I'm just trying to show you this team, the kind of team that I want for for my wildcard. This is by no means final, guys, so I'm gonna put an updated video, but since so many of you are asking, I just want to show you what my plans are. So yeah, so far comes in. So possibly I'm going to change my keeper as well, but I've not decided which keeper I'm going to get. So this is the kind of team that I want. I don't want Bissouma and I don't want Grealish. I want Rafinha and I want Soucek. I've thought about this team a lot, so it's not that I'm making it right from my mind, guys. I've made lots of drafts and stuff, so I know what I'm gonna do, right? So I still have 1 million in the bank. I can upgrade Brewster to somebody like Welbeck, and I need 2 playing keepers because for the double game week I can aim at that. But what I'm thinking right now is free hit in game week 18, but I'm just not sure that I want to bench boost in game week 19. That is the thing, because if I have to bench boost, right, I have to spread my funds not between 11 players but between 15 players, and that makes my playing 11 a bit weaker as compared to what I want it to be. So this thing is on my mind as well. Maybe I'm gonna play free hit in game week 18 and then that is decided for me, but maybe I am not going to bench boost in game week 19. Right now that is where my mind is at about the chip strategy. And why I'm talking about this, because Kane and Son don't have a double game week, right? But look at their fixtures: Fulham, Leeds, Aston Villa, Sheffield. I mean, I want to attack these fixtures, and if I specifically make a game for double game week, I wouldn't put Kane and Son in that team, right? I maybe put one of them. Maybe I'll put Son, maybe I won't put Kane. Maybe I'll put somebody who has a double game week. But I honestly feel that dampens my plan and that makes my team weak for the next 3 game weeks. And I want to attack game week 16, game week 17 and game week 18 as well. And they have fantastic fixtures, Kane and Son. So both Kane and Son will be in my team, possibly for game week 19. I'm going to take one of them out and maybe bring in somebody else, and from game week 18 afterwards, I want KDB in my team as well. So I will possibly replace Son with the De Bruyne. Look at his fixtures after game week 18. Brighton, Palace, West Brom, Sheffield, Burnley. I can't miss these fixtures. I mean, I want one City defender as well. And the one I'm looking at right now, guys, I'll possibly replace Kyle Walker-Peters or maybe somebody else. As I said, guys, this is nothing is final. Just making this team to show you what I want, right? So maybe I'll replace Sofal with Stones and keep Walker-Peters, or I'll get John Stones. So this is the kind of team I'm kind of planning. It's a very vague one. Possibly, you can, you'll think that this, but this is the kind of plan I have. I'm not focusing too much on my bench boost, and possibly I won't be using bench boost. I'm focusing more on attacking game week 18 with a free hit, and attacking game week 16 and 17 as well with my with my team that I prepare with my wildcard. So for all those people who are planning for the double game week, I'm gonna have an added advantage that I'm gonna have players who have good fixtures in game week 16 as well as game week 17, and then I'll also have good players for game week 19 because I'll have a balanced team. The only thing I want to say here is that I am not overly focusing on the double game week. Sometimes you can just focus too much on game week, the double game week, and you can spoil your team, because guys, remember, after game week 19 there are gonna be game weeks as well, and before game week 19 there are gonna be game weeks as well. So for me, this double game week is coming at a time in the season when we don't want to use our other wildcard to fix our team, because there's gonna be blanks and doubles down the line as well. So what we can do is we can make a balanced team which is gonna give you good points in game week 16, game week 17, free hit in game week 18, game week 19 double game week. You can attack that as well if you want to, and then after game week 19, guys, focus on that. You need to have a team who's going to give you good points in game week 20 and afterwards, up till the blank game week, or up till the double game week, which is in game week 25. So do think about your team from game week 20 to game week 25 as well. Don't just focus on game week 19 is my plan at the moment. I just wanted to tell you that just so that you know what I'm thinking about. I want to attack all the game weeks. I just don't want to attack one game week. And it is a competition between constant aggression and brute force. In my opinion, constant aggression always wins against the brute force. You just can't expect to just knock out every opponent with a single punch. Constant aggression always wins, in my opinion. By the way, guys, this is a very rough plan. I'll expect a lot of changes in that. I just wanted to show you because you were asking me. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm back to read your comments now. Alright, guys. Excuse me. Oh my god, so many comments to read. Lucas says, are you planning to get KDB back for Game Week 20? I already answered that. I plan to get KDB back in Game Week 19. Gus says, who is the best cheap midfielder to get in my team or bench? I think Rafinha looks to be the real deal in my opinion, Gus. Lightra says, any news on any extra game weeks? Oh, by the way, guys, yeah, I would like to tell, and thanks to Light for reminding me, right? So, what is the possibility, since Manchester United beat Everton, United's game week 1 fixture, which was against Burnley, I guess, I'm not sure, maybe against Aston Villa, I think United's fixture, which were blank in game week 1, it could be rescheduled to game week 17 or game week 18 at the earliest. So it could be possible, as I said in my videos, guys. It is possible that Manchester United could become the only team which don't blank in game week 18 but also have a double game week in game week 19, and that would be amazing in it. So we need to keep tabs on that. And since Manchester United already beat Everton, there is a possibility that United will have a fixture in game week 18, but nothing is fixed. So I'm gonna update you on these fixtures on my Twitter account as well. So I'll keep you updated. Don't worry about that. So I hope you got the general hang of my strategy, guys, and let's go back and answer your questions. Excuse me, let me have a drink of water quick. Alright, so Imran says, hi bro, how are you? Last match day 89, thanks for the tips. You're welcome, Imran. I am so happy to see that score. Jug says, like the stream, guys. Bakshot says, hello Wiz. Hey George, welcome. Matea says, hi Wiz. Hey Matea, welcome my friend. Paz says, my defenders, Robertson, Chilwell, me, Walker, Peters and Lamptey. Should I downgrade Martinez to Peacock Farrell to bring in Trent for Chilwell next game week? I think you should. Let's see how Trent performs in this game week, my friend Fez, and then we can make the decision. Bob says, Kane to Vardy and Son back to KDB, I guess. It depends. It depends how Vardy plays. I mean, Vardy doesn't have the easiest of fixtures, right? So, honestly speaking, Vardy isn't a bad option. I mean, if he can score a goal and assist against Tottenham, I mean, Vardy is also a great option. To be honest with you, I just put Kane in my team because I honestly feel against Fulham and even more so against Leeds in game week 17, having both Kane and Son is gonna be a blessing, guys, because Leeds is an attacking team and they can be open to counter-attack. And for these games, having Kane and Son in your team would be wonderful, honestly. I don't know what's wrong with my throat, guys. I'm sorry, I keep clearing it again and again. Moving on, guys. Raja says, hi Wizard. Hey Raja, welcome. Matthias says, Wiz, I need your help. Is it worth to bench boost in game week 19 with 12 double game week players plus Kane, Diaz and Grealish? Matthias, that's definitely, I think you can bench boost with that. You don't have to have 15 double game week players. That would be a wrong strategy. I think the strategy which you are going with is perfectly fine in my opinion. And the added advantage in game week 19, Kane has a good fixture against Sheffield United. So, many players won't be able to score as many points as Kane does in a single game week as others do in a double. So I think that's a good strategy, Mateo. Go for it, bro. Pro Gamer says, bro, I got 103 points last game week. My word, that's amazing, my friend. Thank you so much. Pro Gamer says, because of you. I wish I had listened to my own advice, my friend. I would have got 93 points as well if I hadn't made those late transfers. But sometimes these things happen. I've already moved on. My God, Raja says, I've got 109. Thanks to you. That is a wonderful score, my friend. I am proud of you guys. Well done to you. Siddharth says, what pros, Sochek or Bowen? Or any Leeds mid? What do you suggest for this game week only? To be honest with you, Ward Prowse could be a decent option, or Rafinha from Leeds could be good as well, Siddharth. Faz says next deadline is on Monday, right? Yep, there's only one day between game week 15 and game week 16, so I'm gonna have to make my wildcard video real quick. Imran says, any captain tips for this match day? KDB, Salah, Grealish, Son, Vardy, Bamford, DCL. Captain Salah, my friend. Don't look anywhere else. Just Captain Salah, honestly. Jethro says, Chilwell to Cancelo, what do you think? I'd say that is a very good move, my friend. I mean, Cancelo doesn't have in the next 2 game weeks, he doesn't have the best fixtures, but for this game week, it is good, you know. And you can also go somebody like for Liverpool defender as well if you have the budget. So yeah. Aditya says Mahrez to Rafinha or Watkins to Bamford. Will bench Watkins or Bamford this week? If so, or bank a transfer, planning to get the other Leeds player next week anyways. Aditya, if you are having this kind of a problem, your team must look really good, my friend. I'd say you can bank a transfer. I'd say give Mahrez a chance to play, and get them next week. Oliver says, Captain Kane again. My friend, no chance. It's already hurt me a lot, and not Captain Kane again. My word, guys. Kane has caused me so much pain. Why does his name sound so synonymous with pain? Why did I get Kane? He caused me so much pain. I could be a rapper for all I know. Anyways, Wimmel says Vardy to Aguero or Firmino. Wimmel, nobody. Keep Vardy, bro. Keep Vardy, in my opinion. Nishchil says, are you going to play wildcard next week? Absolutely, my friend. By the way, guys, if you don't know, Game Week 16 deadline is the last time to use your first wildcard. If you don't use your first wildcard, it's gonna expire. If you don't use your first wildcard by Game Week 16 deadline, it is going to expire, right? So, anybody who has their first wildcard, after the deadline, hit the play wildcard button so your wildcard doesn't go wasted. Raja says, how do you think double up on Liverpool defense? Raja, I think that's a wonderful idea. And I was this close to getting Matip in place of Chilwell, but I didn't want to take a hit 1 week before I played my wildcard, so I decided against it. But I'd say good idea. Paz says, thoughts on Chilwell to Castan, any other 6.5 million defender? I think Castan is a really good FPL option, to be honest with you, but not this week. Not this week. If you want to get a defender this week, I'd go with City or Liverpool. Imran says, Vardy out, Kane in, your opinion? Not this game week, my friend. Maybe the next. Lucas says, haha, bars whiz. Yep. Matthias says, should I transfer out Chilwell or keep him? I have that option also. Strong team in defense. If you don't have any other problem in your team, you can transfer out Chilwell, my friend. Actually, the reason is we don't know how long he's going to be out for, and that is the only problem that I have kind of telling you to transfer out Chilwell, because we don't have a time frame for his return. Someone says, hey Wiz, can you roughly reveal your defense in your wildcard? Someone have already demonstrated my wildcard once, but I'll tell you. I'd say Dallas, Robertson, Sofal, Taylor, and one else, maybe City defender. That is gonna be the team that I get, the defense. Pro Gamer says, bro, how did you watch that match against Leicester? Oh, Pro Gamer, don't ask me, bro. I was absolutely You know, you think about my game week, guys. I'll tell you a little bit and you'll see what happened to me. You know, I was so happy. I made a decision. I took out Salah and I was like, yes, Salah doesn't start and my decision is vindicated. And then, out of nowhere, Klopp subs him on at 57 minutes when Liverpool are winning 3-0. Why did he bring on Salah? Did he know that I had transferred him out? It was crazy, guys. And then Salah comes on and Crystal Palace defends, goes to celebrate Christmas. I mean, they were not there. What were they doing? I mean, Salah was absolutely having a field day. I mean, you know, 2 goals and 1 assist in 33 minutes. That's absolutely atrocious. And I said, and then at the back of my mind, I was thinking, all right, no problem. Salah's played, no problem. Now let's vouch for that Bruno blank, because I was gonna captain Bruno, and now let's hope that Bruno blanks and Kane banks tomorrow. And then I saw that game. My word, you know, right at the start. I mean, you know, Scott McTominay of all people, he scored 2 goals and Leeds were like absolutely atrocious, and I knew that Bruno's gonna totally bang in this game. And he scored a goal. He scored I think, I don't know, yeah, 2 assists, 1 goal, something like that. And then I was like, all right, no problem. Salah scored as well, Bruno scored as well. I mean, Kane is gonna score as well. Kane has an amazing record against Leicester, guys. Come on. I mean, 16 goals in 10 games. What else do you need, right? Nope. Then I was ready for the game. My popcorn was ready. And Leicester versus Tottenham started. Nothing happened in the first half. And I was like, no problem. Tottenham are a second half team. And then nothing happened, guys. Kane blanked, causing me a lot of pain in the process. And still he remains in my team. I don't want to see Kane in my team. But guys, you know, I made this transfer. What I should have done as Captain Bruno, I made a mistake and I paid for it. And to top it all off, guys, I had a whole week to think about what had happened, and it wasn't good for my mind, for my peace of mind, I'd like to say. Moving on, guys. That was my little story, by the way, from last game week. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to smash that like button. You know, if you feel for me, hit that like button. Make it feel the pain. Vimal says Chilwell and Wilson out, DCL and Taylor in with a hit. I don't think you should bringing DCL right now, my friend. Everton's fixtures are turning, and James is out, Richarlison is out. I just don't think they have the creativity to kind of feed DCL. 1 goal per game, that is the maximum. I mean, I'd say you go for some other transfers, bro. Not this one. FPL Sam says hope Watkins finally get to the score sheet versus Palace. That was also a part of the pain, guys. I've got Watkins, I've got Grealish, and I've got Martinez. And Watkins finally scored a goal. I was very happy. But within the next 5 seconds, VAR comes in and chalks off the goal. And there goes my happiness. Alright, moving on, guys. Matthias says he trained yesterday, I think. Well, if he trained yesterday, then Chilwell wouldn't be too far off, my friend. And if you have a strong bench, I wouldn't be against keeping him. Nishchil says, which City defender is at least risk of rotation? I'd say Diaz. Ruben Diaz is the one, Nishchil. SH says, Odin and Chilwell for Rafinha and Robertson. I'd say go for it, SH. I like both those transfers, my friend. Nike says, finally took a hit with Watkins out, Che Adams in. Really frustrating to own Watkins. I agree with you, my friend. He is really frustrating to own, isn't he? But, well, I have to stick with him for 1 more week. And I pray that he scores at least 1 goal. He's been in my team for the last 3 game weeks. And he's done... Well, I don't want to say... he's done, nothing. That's all I want to say. Raja says, who do you think Manchester City defender will be nailed on? I'd say Ruben Diaz is the one who's the most nailed on. And after that, I think John Stones could be the one, I think the fullbacks are going to be rotated. FPL Sam says, Chilwell posted a pic in Instagram with his teammates. He may be in training but not fit enough to play against Arsenal. Might be back for the Gameweek 16 home game. Well, if Chilwell is going to be back in game week 16, then I don't think we should be in a rush to sell him. Because he still is a good fantasy asset. By the way, guys, I forgot to mention another good moment from last game week, and I was like, well, no problems. I've got Pedro. Who did I have in the last game? I had Chilwell, and I think I had Chilwell only, right? Yeah. In the last game of the game week, I had Chilwell, and I was like, no problem. Chilwell is gonna get me a good 6 points, and off he goes at 10 minutes, guys, to top off a great game week. Moving on, guys. Lightray says, what is your least favorite subject, Kane captain or Arsenal season? Light, it was, to be honest with you, Arsenal season is my least favorite subject because, our fan base is so split at the moment, we don't even know what to think. We really should be replacing our owners, and we are only discussing about our players and our manager. Nobody talks about the board, nobody talks about the ownership. The Cronkies are just taking money off Arsenal, and nobody talks about that. Out of sight, out of mind, I guess. Fez says, play Meslier. Sorry, I have to pronounce it right. Meslier or Martinez. To be honest with you, I'd say this game week you can play Martinez because I honestly think that after such a hiding, Crystal Palace won't be back to their confident best. So if I was you, I'd play Martinez. Raghav says Chilwell to Matip. Raghav, if you want to and you don't have any other problems in your team, I don't think that is a bad transfer to make this game week. Vimal says please suggest other transfer. Also Martinez or McCarthy, who to start. Out of those two, I'd say McCarthy possibly, my friend. But it's a very difficult decision, because McCarthy is away from home, has the easier fixture. Martinez is at home, but compared to McCarthy has a slightly difficult fixture. So it's in the balance a little bit. Joseph says, will you decide to keep Robo for the long term? I really hope so, Joseph. If I don't have if I don't have problems in my team, and if I can get the best wildcard team with Robo in my team, I would love to keep him. Definitely love to keep him. Oliver says Kane caused pain to me too, but we'll captain this guy this game week. I just trust him, don't know why. Good luck to you, my friend. Honestly, I feel this game week, if you own Salah, you captain Salah. Don't overthink it, but if you want to, good luck to you. Buckshot says, Wiz, I have De Bruyne today and Salah would do. And Salah, would you do De Bruyne captain if you had the choice? Buckshot, honestly, no. I honestly think that, Liverpool can cause real damage against West Brom. And if Aguero starts, or even if Aguero is on the pitch, I'm not sure if De Bruyne is going to be on penalties then. It's kind of in the balance, but if I had the option, I'd captain Salah, bro. Joram says, with Salah or KDB or DCL cap? Salah, my friend. Out of those, Salah or KDB, I wouldn't go towards DCL. They just don't have creativity in the team, and that is my point. Owned by M says, any news on Westergaard? I have him versus Fulham. Apparently, he had knee injury. Unfortunately, Owned, I don't have any updates, but if anybody has any updates on Westergaard, guys, please share in the chat. Our friend Owned here would love to know, and I think many of you would love to know as well. He has been immense for that Southampton defense has Westergaard. Jethro says, Wiz, I have 2 free transfers, planning to get Cancelo for Chilwell and Target for Sofal. Already have Robertson, going to use wildcard next week to get Kane and Son. What do you think? I don't think you need to get Target for Sofal. Sofal has a good match anyway against Brighton. Brighton are not in the best of form, and Cancelo for Chilwell definitely makes sense to me, but Target for Sofal, you might want to rethink that, my friend. So yeah, I like the plan, by the way. Damdi says 2 free transfers, building a double game week team. Option 1, out KDB Mitchell, in Robertson Harrison. The second one, he says out Chilwell Mitchell, in Justin and Dallas. I don't like either of those two. Maybe Justin and Dallas a little bit more than... Why would you transfer out KDB this game week, my friend? If it was for Salah, I would still understand it. But for Robertson and Harrison, it's very hard for me to advocate that kind of a move, Damde. what else? If you have other options, please let me know, and I'll tell you about that. Joseph says Kane, but the K is P. Yeah, we can say that, right? Kane, but the K is P. Kane means pain. Pain means Kane. Like that, right? Alright. Nike says KDB out of my team. If he fails to haul this game week, do you think he's pretty much underwhelming for 11.5 million price tag this season? To be honest with you, Nike, I think it is mostly his teammates. It isn't about KDB. I think KDB has been his usual self. He's been creating chance after chance. His teammates are just, failing to put the chances away. I don't think what KDB can do in this kind of a scenario unless he decides to score all the goals himself. He's mainly an assisting player, and when he lays the ball on the plate for somebody else to score and he doesn't, I don't know what KDB is kind of supposed to do. And that is the reason I honestly feel out of the premiums, KDB is the most expendable. Joseph says, Wiz, good time to bring in Cancelo, yeah? Absolutely, Joseph. But, the thing is, you need to look at the next two fixtures as well. Hang on, let me show you so that you know what I'm talking about. This game week, Cancelo is a good option. And I know he's going to start because, the reason is Walker is out with COVID. But you look at the next two fixtures, they just don't seem the best. Everton away, Chelsea away. I honestly feel that City are going to concede in both these games. And, that is the reason I think that, this game week Cancelo is best. But then after that, I would want Cancelo only in game week 18. These two game weeks I could possibly do without Cancelo. So if you have a better option, you can definitely go with that. That is my think about Cancelo. Otherwise, I think he's a good option. Long term, definitely a good. Surfro says, Hi Wiz, hey Surfros, welcome. Robertson, Matip, Dallas, Kyle Walker, Peters. What do you think? Surfros, I think that's a good defense. And I like the double up on Liverpool. Really like it. Raghav says, whom should I start? Taylor or NATO? To be honest with you, I have the same problem in my team. If you can see my team, my friends, I've got NATO and I've got Taylor as well. The reason I am starting NATO over Taylor is because I've already got two Leeds players and I just don't want to put too much stakes in that game, so I wanted to kind of divide the risk and I started NATO. If you have a similar team to me, then I'd say NATO makes more sense, my friend. Nigel says, I have Westergaard, Chilwell and Lamptey. They're all injured now. Should I get Kyle Walker, Peter, Diaz and Sofal? Can you give me some suggestions? Nigel, I'm not sure if you have your wildcard left or not, but if I was you, I'd possibly, either look to activate your wildcard and fix your defense, or possibly go for somebody like John Stones, Joel Matip. These kinds of players I would go for. Rob says, for this game week, would you bring in Foden for Rafinha? And Rob, I wouldn't. I think Rafinha has been playing really well, and if you have Rafinha, I think you should give him a chance. That is my opinion about that. Nike says, do you think Leeds will break Burnley defense this week? Asking because I'm about to start Taylor this game week. To be honest with you, Nike, I think the way Leeds play, I don't think that they'll find it hard to break down that defense. Their hard pressing style, I think it favors breaking down teams like Burnley, because I don't think Burnley are really good at playing out of the back, right? They're only good at just lumping long balls, defending, and I don't think that can work for 90 minutes. So I'd say with fair amount of certainty that Leeds will possibly score against Burnley. Buckshot says NATO will score today. But Buckshot, he doesn't play today. I hope you're not trying to, jinx it. He plays on Monday or Sunday. I mean, he plays tomorrow, right? So I hope he scores, honestly. Nigel says, I have 3 free transfers. You cannot have 3 free transfers. Come on, my friend. We played this game long enough to know that you can only have 2 free transfers. Guys, we've got 60 people watching this stream, and I would really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. Thank you so much. Moving on, guys. FPL Bear says, what are your current plans for the blank and doubles? What chips are you planning on using? Well, FPL Bear, to be honest with you, I did discuss it a fair bit, and my plan is to kind of free hit in Game Week 18, and that's it. I am not planning to currently use my bench boost in Game Week 19. I think we can, make better use of it in the coming double game week as well. So I plan to use my wildcard in Game Week 16, have a balanced team for, for the upcoming 2 or 3 game weeks, and then possibly play my free hit to navigate the blank game week. So that's the current plan. Caleb says, Jolinton triple captain. Let's go big differential. My friend, I hope you're joking. Ayman says, do I start NATO or Socek? If I was you, my friend, I'd possibly start Socek over NATO. Vimal says, who else thinks Bamford moves and looks like Miguel Michu? That's an interesting one. That's an interesting comparison. Miguel Michu was an absolute FPL legend, right? And I hope Bamford can turn into one as well. At this price, he's definitely looking really good as well. Pro Gamer says NATO is gonna blank until Wiz will keep him. Come on, Pro. I mean, that is an interesting point, but I mean, I don't break all the players I buy. I mean, I've had Fernandez and I've got Salah. I've had lots of good players this week. I mean, I know Game Week 14 looks really bad, but it was just a couple of bad decisions that make it look bad. And by chance, it was also my first captaincy blank of the season. That didn't help. Smelly Wab says like and subscribe, guys. Thank you, Wab. Oliver says, will Konsa start? To be honest with you, Oliver, I think he was close to starting last week. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't start this week. If you have him, I'd possibly keep him. Caleb says, use your wildcard in Game Week 69. Alright, today you are in the mood, Caleb. Archie says, should I start Sofal or Kyle Walker-Peters? Sofal has a home game against Brighton, and Kyle Walker-Peters has an away fixture against Fulham. That is a really difficult one. If I was you, I'd possibly prefer Sofal a little bit. I think Sofal is more attacking than Kyle Walker-Peters. Lightroy says, if Manchester United get the extra game, would you consider a double up on their attack? That is a very interesting one. Unfortunately, I don't think we are going to find that out before Game Week 16 deadline, my friend. If we do find it out before Game Week 16 deadline, then I might consider a couple of their players. Not 2 attackers. Maybe Lindelof, Lindelof and Fernandez. That would be the route that I would possibly take. Because, I think their attackers are too expensive. Maybe Greenwood could be the one, but I just don't like the look of that. So yeah, that's the Zod says, hey Wiz, and a Merry Christmas. Hey Zod, welcome my friend, and a Merry Christmas to you too. Lucas says, thoughts on Martial was starting to pick up his form. Lucas, that's a very interesting one, and honestly, Martial should have got a goal and 3 assists. I mean, he just missed a sitter, an open goal. He could have had really hauled in that last game week. I mean, I would like to watch him for 1 or 2 more game weeks, because they don't have the best of fixtures, and if he does look like on the upward trajectory, then we should think about Martial, because at his price, I think he can be lethal. Caleb says, Jolinton will score a hat-trick against Manchester City, I promise you. Well, Caleb, if he scores a hat-trick against Manchester City, I will give you a shout-out for the next 10 streams. Every time I start the stream, you'll get a shout out from me. Sagar says, who to start? Sagar, I don't know your team, my friend. How should I tell you that? Thomas says, Sofal or Dallas long term? Long term, right? To be honest with you, I'm tempted to say Dallas, but I think long term Sofal will be the better pick, my friend. To be honest with you, Thomas, I would say you should be having both these players in for long term, because they're both great picks. Dallas more attacking wise, Sofal a more all-round pick, but I'd suggest you have both of them. They're both good. Sagar says, who to drop? Wood, Bamford or Torres? That's my word. I think I expect Torres to start this game week. Bamford is obviously gonna start, and Wood too. I'd say out of these, maybe Wood or Torres. I'd start Bamford, but I'd drop one of the other two. Maybe Torres, but it's difficult one to kind of say categorically. Sudeep says, oops, where's the message? Yeah. Whom to start? Justin, Konsa. Will Chilwell be back in game week 19? Honestly, I think Chilwell will definitely be back by game week 19. If you have to start one of the two, I'd say maybe Konsa. Maybe, because I think Konsa has a decent fixture as well, and if he doesn't start, then Justin is gonna come in anyway. Sanshiru says, is it good to buy Matip since Walker is ill? I think definitely Matip is a good option. Matip is going to start all the games, and Liverpool have good fixtures, so I like the idea, my friend. Raja says, Podence or Taylor to sub. I always favor the attacking player, Raja. I think the attacking, and Podence is literally playing as a striker unless Silva starts. So in my opinion, I'd go with Podence. Archie says, thanks, my thoughts exactly, slightly leaning towards Sofal. Cool, my friend. Caleb says, triple captain VAR for the Manchester United game. It would get 20 assists. You're in the mood today, innit? Desmond says, Merry Christmas with Soucek or Rafinha for the long term. Oh, my friend. Merry Christmas to you too, my friend. Your question is interesting and difficult as well. To be honest with you, my friend, I'd say Rafinha is currently in really good form, and he's nailed on in the Leeds team. I'm not sure for how long, and if he's gonna keep up his form. Soucek, I think, is gonna be starting all the games for West Ham United. So if you ask me for the short term, I'd say Rafinha, and if you're asking me for the long term, I'd say Soucek. Nike says, do you think Mitrovic will start any time? He was my punt at the start, and I plan to keep him for the whole of the season, and now he's a bench warmer. Well, he did start the last game week, Nayak, and that gives me a bit of confidence that he might be, coming back to the team, but I'm not confident about his prospects as an FPL asset anymore. Kirtan says, should I go for Matip as I have no Liverpool defense? Kirtan, I'd say we should prefer Robertson and Alexander-Arnold, but if you can't afford them, then I'd say Matip is a good alternative. Definitely. Pro Gamer says, Merry Christmas, Wiz. Merry Christmas, Pro Gamer, and I wish you have such great game weeks, a lot more than just once. FPL Sum says, West Brom, 14 goals conceded in 7 games. Newcastle, 9 goals conceded in 6 games. Well, that's a good stat, but the opposition was different as well. So Leeds scored 5 goals against Newcastle, so that stat is a bit tainted by that game, right? So it's essentially, we could say that 4 goals in 5 games Newcastle, and that doesn't sound right, because Newcastle have been absolutely atrocious. Excuse me. Kirtan says, whom to start between Dyer or NATO? Wow, I'd always prefer the attacking player, and if you have Dyer, I think that's a good thing in itself, because after this game week they have great fixtures. This game week I'd say NATO maybe, a little bit, but it not much between them, to be honest with you. Nike says, West Brom has played well against the traditional top 6 teams. I really feel a low-scoring Liverpool game, but I don't have the guts to remove Salah. Going with the flow this time. Sometimes, Nike, going with the flow is the best thing to do. I tried to stem the flow last game week, and you know how that went, right? Don't want to talk about that game week again. Bakshot says, if Joelinton scores hat-trick, I'm giving FPL. No, he's not gonna score a hat-trick. In football nothing is impossible, but I'd say that is very close to being impossible. Joelinton hasn't even scored 3 goals. I don't know for how long. Sudeep says, whom to start? Justin or Konsa? Will Chilwell be... Yeah, I already answered that. Vimal says, will Aguero start? I'm not sure, Vimal. Honestly, I don't think so, because I don't think he's fit enough to play 60 minutes, because Pep Guardiola didn't give any indication for that. Pes says, are you in favor of having 2 starting goalkeepers or 1? To be honest with you, unless you're planning for the double game week, I prefer to have 1 playing goalkeeper. 1 less decision to make every week. Ali Sufyan says, should I get Son for Bruno KDB just for Gameweek 15 or keep both? Need extra cash for Wilson to DCL. Still got my wildcard 1 next week. To be honest with you, I just don't like the look of both these moves, my friend. I think you should keep Bruno Fernandes and KDB because Son has good fixtures starting from Gameweek 16. In Gameweek 15, he does play against Wolves, who are a good defensive unit. So I don't think that is a priority move. If you have some transfers, you should possibly think about taking 1 or 2 punts for this Gameweek since you have your first wildcard. Shopnan says, Chilwell train today. Shopnan, yeah, welcome to the live stream, my friend. I know he did train, but I'm not sure if he's gonna be fit to start, right? Ruslan says, suggest one defender below 5 million for Gameweek 15 only. John Stones. I think John Stones. Siddharth says, I am about to lock my team, so final question. Adams, Ward-Prowse or Rafinha? I'd say Adams or Rafinha, my friend. That's a difficult one to say because Leeds play against Burnley, right? And Burnley are not the most open team. Not sure how many they're going to concede. Adams, they play against Fulham, which have also been better. I think it's not going to be much between these players anyway, Siddharth. Go with your gut, my friend. Because statistically and logically, there's not much between them. If I was you, I'd possibly pick between Adams and Rafinha. Nishchil says Cancelo or Meta for this week. Just for this week, Nishchil, I'd say Cancelo. Caleb says best strike force in FPL. Carroll, Dwight Gale, and Joe Linton. Beerkern says captain DCL or Bamford. Beerkern, why do you want to captain these two, my friend? Why not somebody else like KDB or Salah? Should I remove Bruno for Salah for a -4 hit? Beerkern, if you have your wildcard in Gameweek 16, then you must see how much value are you losing on Bruno. By the way, guys, I just want to reiterate once again, I wouldn't have removed KDB for Salah if I didn't have so much value attached with Fernandes. You see, Fernandes is 10.8 million for me to sell and 11 million to buy him back. So that is the reason I didn't sell Fernandes, because eventually I wanted him back in my team. And if I sold him, then I would lose 0.3 million from my team and also have to take a -4 hit. So, sometimes you have to kind of make these kinds of compromises. ProGamer says, bro, I wish you will get a century of points. Thank you, ProGamer. I wished the same for you as well. SH says, who is your transfer this game week? SH, I've already made my transfer. I've taken out De Bruyne and I brought in Salah. Akmal says, triple captain Salah this game week. I mean, if you really want to use your triple captainship in a single game week, I say you can, but honestly, my friend, I'd say you should wait for the double game week if you want to use your triple captain. Caleb says, Caleb is at it again, guys. He says, Bruno Fernandes without penalties is Jesse Lingard. Do you agree with him, United fans? Joseph says, keep Watkins for this game week. Possibly, Joseph. I would. If you've stuck with him for such a long time, I'd say just one more game week, let's give him one more chance. Ruslan says, Dyer, Stones, Dallas. I'd say Stones or Dallas. Choose one. John Wick says, hey FPL Wiz, Merry Christmas. Hey John, welcome and Merry Christmas to you too. I hope you had a great one. Excuse me. Gaspar says, do you think Ferran will start? Gaspar, I do think Ferran Torres has a chance to start. Yep. Yuri says, which Manchester City defender? If you're asking me which is the most nailed on defender, I'd say Diaz is the most nailed on. Which is the most attacking? I'd say maybe Benjamin Mendy or Cancelo. Who's the cheapest one? It is John Stones. Mohib says, Wizard, advice please. Click or Socek to start for me. I'd say Click, because he's on penalties for Leeds United, and I think Leeds have a decent game as well. Although they are both good options, if I was you, I'd start Click. John Wick says, what's the best strategy for the blank game week and double game week? No wildcard, rest all chips are available. Well, John, the best strategy for you would be to kind of build up to double game week 19 with your transfers and use your free hit in game week 18. I'd say that would be the best strategy. And I would also suggest you don't use your bench boost in Game Week 19 since you don't have your wild card. You won't be able to make a very good bench boost team, So in my opinion, I'd say just build up to Game Week 19 with your free transfers. Don't use your bench boost and free hit in Game Week 18. Faz says, Wiz, did you see any test match today? Oh no, Faz. Unfortunately I didn't. I've been working on a couple of stuff for my channel, so I didn't have the time. But if you have any good updates, do let me know, my friend. Vimal says, what about Zaha? Vimal, if you have him, keep him. If you don't have him, don't bring him in. That is my simple logic with Zaha. If you own him, keep him. If you don't own him, don't buy him now. Mohib says, thanks mate, you're welcome. Gaspa says, Sigurdsson or El Ghazi? Gaspa, why do you have to choose between those two players? Honestly, I think El Ghazi has been performing well. But after this game week, do you see Aston Villa fixtures? They're atrocious. Chelsea away, United away, Tottenham home, Everton. I mean, do you really want to get El Ghazi before these fixtures? If I was you, I wouldn't. Haben says, will Mitchell start? I don't think so, my friend. Why would Mitchell start? I think Patrick Van Aanholt is playing on the left side. Klein is playing on the right side. I don't see any place for Mitchell in that team, my friend. So yeah. John Wick says, thanks. That's the strategy which was in my mind. That's cool, John. I think that is the right strategy to go with. Vimal says, Mccarthy or Martinez, who to start? Vimal, that is a difficult decision. Martinez plays at home, but against a difficult team. McCarthy plays away from home, relatively against an easier team. So, you take the pick between those two. Todd says, what do you suggest for a defender at 4.5 or less? I would prefer someone with 2 games in 19. For 4.5 million or less. Todd, I'm gonna have to have a look because no one in particular comes to mind. But let's have a look. This is for everybody who's kind of building their teams. Well, Charlie Taylor doesn't have a double game week, or does he? Yeah, Charlie Taylor could be one, but he's, the Charlie Taylor is an interesting one. Reason being, he does have great games up to game week 19, right? He's got Sheffield at home, he's got Fulham at home, but he doesn't have good fixtures in the double game week. So Charlie Taylor could be an option for you if you want to go that way. Other than that, just don't like the look of any defenders, honestly. Matt Lowton could be one. I mean, I would like to say Ayling, because Leeds have really good fixtures in game week 19. But the problem is, I just kind of prefer Dallas over Ayling. But if you have to have a defender below 4.5 million, Luke Ayling could be the one. Look at their fixtures, Todd. Burnley, West Brom, and then in game week 19 they've got Brighton and Southampton. So I'd say you can possibly go for somebody like Ayling as well. I think there are not many options. You can go with maybe Balbuena as well. He's one I would look at because he has good fixtures in game week 19. Burnley, West Brom. I like the look of West Ham and Leeds defense for game week 19. So yeah, that would be my choice, my friend. Lightrace says India on top in the cricket. All right, that's good. Was a bad collapse. In the second innings in the last match. Honestly, Harpreet says hello. Hey Harpreet, welcome. ProGamer says, bro, India in a very commanding situation in the Boxing Day Test match. That's nice to hear, guys. It's absolutely nice to hear. Bess says, have you ever shown your face here or on Twitter? Well, actually, I haven't. But I'm not against posting my picture on Twitter because that is not against my job. So yeah, I'd possibly post a picture on Twitter one day. Just because I've been asked so many times, guys. Yeah. One time I did try to post a picture of mine, but unfortunately I forgot that I was wearing an invisible cloak and there was nothing in the picture and people were wondering where I went. Shogun says Captain KDB or Bruno. Well, out of those two, I'd say KDB this game week is a better option, Shogun. Harpreet says Stones or Matip. Which transfer in place of James? Long term, I'd say maybe Matip is, has better fixtures, Harpreet. For this game week, I'd say both are good. So I'd say just go with Matip. I just like the look of Matip. If you can afford a better defender, maybe Robertson or Trent Alexander-Arnold, and yeah, then you should definitely go for them. Bjorn says, Bjorkander, sorry. Adam says, Trent or Robertson to bring in for Diaz. That's a difficult one to say because Diaz has a good fixture as well. And out of Trent or Robertson, currently Robertson seems to be the better pick. But Trent wasn't fit and he is coming back into his own as well. I mean, I'd say you can keep Diaz as well. Or if I was to make a transfer, I'd possibly go for Robertson. Balbuena, good 4.4 million option, says Aditya. I agree with you, Aditya. Balbuena is good. His fixtures look really tempting, right? Todd says, thanks with Ailing sounds good. Cheers, Todd. I hope that solved the problem. Mana says, Watkins or Socek, Gameweek 15. Watkins, my friend. Pro Gamer says, bro, you should post a picture when you get 100 point in a game week. Well, if it is a single game week and I won't use any chip and I do get 100 points, then yeah, why not? I will post my pic, no problem. Sofal says, had a baby on Christmas Day. Yeah, that's true, Light Rays. Sofal did have a baby on Christmas Day and there is a chance he doesn't start. Rumor going around. I mean, honestly, generally these kinds of things don't kind of interfere with the schedule of the football players unless they're having a baby on the very day of the match, right? But that is a point to be considered, guys. Sofal did have a baby, and congratulations to Vladimir Sofal. He's entered the parenthood, and maybe there could be a chance. There could be a chance, guys. But if he doesn't start the game, there is no chance that he comes on, right? So do keep your benches ready. Harpreet says Captain De Bruyne or Salah. Harpreet, I'd love to own both of them, and if I did own both of them, I would still captain Salah. Aditya says Socek or Welbeck for this game week. Aditya, I'm tempted to kind of go with Welbeck a little bit, but because I like to start the attackers. But in this case, I'd say Socek because West Ham are currently a better team than Brighton and are in a better form. So I'd say Socek, but just by a little bit. Susie says, Dyer or Dallas to start. I'd say Dallas out of the two. He's been really attacking in the last 2 game weeks. He's been getting attacking points as well. And Leeds have a good fixture too. Haben says, Mitchell out, Sofal in for a -4 hit. Is a hit worth for a defender? I mean, to be honest with you, Haben, if you don't have a playing 11, only then a -4 is worth for a defender. Unless that defender is somebody like Andy Robertson who can get you attacking points, I'd say not. Danforth says, hope I'm not late. Hey Danforth, welcome. You are not late. We still have half an hour to go and I'm gonna be with you. Pro Gamer says, Wiz will now never believe on the Twitter rumors. To be honest with you, bro, I mean, the rumors were true. I mean, I heard the rumors of Salah benching on Twitter and they were true, right? It turned out to be right. But what happened in terms of FPL was absolutely against what I did, right? I mean, I took the decision based on the rumors and Salah did get benched, But after that, everything went downhill like an avalanche. Joshua says, will Wilson get any points against Manchester City? Joshua, it is difficult, but not impossible, right? But it is difficult, honestly. I think City are a good defensive team at the moment, and it's very hard for Wilson to get something against them. Maybe if Alan St. Maximo were to start, he would have had a chance. Suleiman says Martinez, Diaz, Zuma, Mings, KDB, Salah, Son, Grealish, DCL, Bamford, and Che Adams. He says, got 2 transfers, what to do? I'd say nothing, my friend. Maybe roll your free transfer. I think you look set for this game week, in my opinion. Burn your transfer. Don't make a mistake like the wise old wizard did. Aditya says, thanks Fizz, you're welcome, Aditya. Cinema says, Matip or Dallas? You mean to bring into your team or to start, my friend? Danforth says, which 2 to start? Reece James, Podence, Wilson. I'm going to upgrade Chilwell. My head tells me Robo, but my heart tells Trent. Well, Reece James is not going to start, is he? I think he was injured or something. So I guess you can start Reece James. I mean, if he doesn't play, Wilson or Podence are going to come in anyway, my friend. And if you want to upgrade Chilwell, you go for Robertson or Trent. There is nothing statistically to kind of differentiate the two because Trent was out injured. I mean, at this moment in time, Robertson is in a better form, but Trent is always dangerous. So go with what you want. But if I was you, I would go with Robertson. Harpreet says, how much points did you earn in Gameweek 14? I've got 64 points, Harpreet, due to my mistakes, I'd say. Dylan says, would you trade out Lamptey or James? If so, who for Diaz, Sofal or Stones? To be honest with you, I'd possibly get rid of, maybe Lamptey, because Lamptey is always kind of injured, always an injury doubt. And Reece James was totally nailed in the Chelsea team before he got injured. So I'd say Lamptey to maybe Sofal seems to be the good move. If you want to go for Diaz, that is fine as well. But Sofal also is a good move. For this game week, I'd say you should get a City defender. I am Sully says, good luck, thanks. You're welcome, my friend. Hang on, guys. A drink of water before we move towards the deadline. There have been a lot of questions today. I hope I'm able to answer all of them. FPL Sam says, Diaz potential rest, Sofal potential parental leave, Chilwell injured, Mitchell out of picture, and Robertson potential one-man army in my defense. Well, Sam, you like to take risks, and they do pay off, right? Just like last game week, you had a great game week, so keep at it, my friend. You have your own way, and there is no right way in FPL. Aditya says, good enough bench boost team for game week 19. Johnston, Martinez, Sofal, Dallas, Justin, Cresswell, Chilwell. I don't like the idea of Sofal and Cresswell. It's just too much in my opinion. Chilwell, James. Yeah, maybe one of the two, so you say. Matip. I'd say Matip. Salah, Son, Fernandes, Rafinha, Grealish. Agree with that. Maybe Grealish, not Grealish, but Bamford, Adams, or Antonio. Well, Aditya, I honestly feel there could be a better team. You're focusing too much on Game Week 19. What happens after Game Week 19? Don't have any City players in there, and City have really good fixtures around the double game week as well. So I honestly feel that we need to have a more balanced team. When we focus too much on just one game week, I think it costs us in the long run. That's just my opinion though. Cinema says, to start in my team, Matip or Dallas for this week. To be honest with you, Cinema, I'd say maybe Matip a little bit. Dallas is more attacking though, but I honestly feel that Liverpool will get a clean sheet against West Brom. So if I was you, although I'd love to start both of them, but I'd pick Matip just a little bit by. John says, Adams or Wood for Wilson. That's an interesting one. I mean, if you want to go for Wood, I wouldn't be against it. The reason being, I'd say they have good fixtures, not just this game week. I'd say they have good fixtures, like you see, Sheffield, Fulham. I'd say these two fixtures are good. Southampton, on the other hand, have a couple of difficult fixtures. West Ham, Liverpool, Leicester, Leeds. So on this, I'd say maybe Chris Wood. Yazid says, should I buy Salah and sell De Bruyne? Yazid, to be honest with you, I don't want to be the one to advocate this kind of move, but that is what I did for my own team, right? I sold De Bruyne and I bought Salah and I captained him, and I hope for the best. Hang on, let me put my final team on the screen so that you all can see. Alright. Haben says, thanks bro, best defender for 6 million or under 6 million. I'd say at this moment in time, you can think about Cancelo, Ruben Diaz, Joel Matip. These are the ones who look like the real deal. I mean, if you want to go a little bit more, less than 5 million, you can even go for Dallas. But I say Joel Matip, Cancelo, and Diaz, because Walker is injured. I think Cancelo should start now. Pro Gamer says, who was the highest scorer in Game Week 14? I think it was Bruno Fernandes, right? 17 points. Matthew Brown says, "Hi Wiz, hope you're doing good. I'm unsure whether or not to move on Chilwell. I got him for 5.5 and have a strong bench, so I'm leaning towards holding him." Matthew, I agree with you. Since Chilwell trained yesterday, right, he wouldn't be too off coming back into the team. Maybe he won't start this game week, but if you have a strong bench, just keep him on the bench. I'd say that would be the right move, because if you want him long term, there is no point in transferring him out. John says, "Best replacement for Chilwell, already have Stones so far, can't upgrade to Robo." To be honest with you, any attacking defender doesn't seem plausible in that kind of range. Maybe you can go with somebody like Joel Matip, that is the best we can do, my friend. Otherwise, because I don't see any other attacking defenders. Cresswell could be one, Cresswell could be one, but you already have Sofal, so I can't say to get Cresswell either. Maybe a Leeds defender could be your option, like Dallas, Usman says, "Should I do Sterling and take out De Bruyne?" Usman, I don't understand what you mean, my friend. Can you ask the question again? Atul says, "Hey Wiz, Walker Peters or Dallas to start?" If I was you, my friend, I would start Dallas. I'd possibly start Dallas. I think Dallas has more attacking potential than Walker Peters. But it's kind of difficult decisions, touch and go decisions, which sometimes can go the other way as well. But if I was you, I'd start Dallas. Aditya says, "I'm going to get KDB and City defense game week 20 for Son and one defender." Well, Aditya, if that is the plan, that's fine. But having two West Ham defenders, it depends on what you want to do, my friend. Honestly, I think it takes more time to kind of have a look at this kind of a team. Maybe if you can join our Discord and send a message there, you'll get better feedback. By the way, guys, we have a wonderful Discord server. If any of you want to join, you're welcome. Lightrace says, "Start Wilson or Kyle Walker-Peters." Lightrace, I'm generally in the favor of starting the attacker over the defender, but this game week, I'd like to say that maybe Kyle Walker-Peters. Usman says, "Sterling or De Bruyne?" I'd prefer De Bruyne, my friend. Sterling is on his day he can be dangerous, but the way they are playing at the moment, De Bruyne is a better option. Lee says, "What do you think about Lindelof?" Well, I think he's a decent 4.8 million option. Not much downside, and I don't see too much upside either. Just a decent buy at best. Usman says, "Should I get Mahrez?" I don't think so, my friend. Sterling or De Bruyne. Don't go for Mahrez, because I honestly feel that De Bruyne is currently the most nailed on one. Aditya says, "Game week 14, McTominay got 18 points. Oh my god, I absolutely forgot about that, my friend." Brian says, "Hey Wiz, sorry I'm late. Great stream." Hey Brian, welcome. No worries, we still have 15 minutes. If you have any questions, my friend, go ahead and I'm gonna answer. Bjorn says, Can I keep Reece James despite his injury? I have Robertson, Ayling, Sofal and Taylor." To be honest, Bjorn, I don't see any reason why not, because you have good defense and all of them have good fixtures as well. In my opinion, if in the news they say that the injury to Reece James is not long term, I don't see any reason why you can't keep him. FPL Jug says, "Your views on Dyer with long term?" Well, Jug, to be honest with you, Dyer is the kind of player who's maybe gonna get you defensive points, but in attacking sense, very little, right? But since Tottenham have really good fixtures, here, let me show you. Fulham, Leeds, you can consider him. If I was you, the only player I would consider from the Tottenham defense was Lloris and no one else. Usman says, "Should I get Sterling or De Bruyne? Because I'm not particularly sure." Well, if I was you, my friend, I can only tell you my own opinion. I would go for De Bruyne. As long as Aguero doesn't start, De Bruyne is on penalties, and in general, De Bruyne is in a better form than Sterling, So, yeah. ProGamer says, "Bro, can you stay till the team news of the first game of the day today?" Well, ProGamer, I'm not sure at the moment. Currently, my 2-year-old is sleeping, and if he keeps on sleeping, then possibly I can. Otherwise, if he wakes up, then I possibly will have to go. Let's see what happens, right? Let's see what happens. Alan says, "Zoma or Kyle Walker-Peters?" Oh, I'd say Zuma, my friend, but they're both good options, Alan, and there's, very difficult to separate them. But the way Zuma has been attacking those corners, I honestly feel against Arsenal he could score, right? Atul says, thanks, Wiz, and good luck this weekend, everyone. Thank you, my friend, and good luck to you too. Alan says, Watkins or Zaha? Alan, you do have some difficult problems in your team. Your questions are very touch and go because they're both good options. But, if you have Zaha, I'd say out of Watkins and Zaha, I'd possibly go with Zaha. He can win a penalty anytime, the way the way he plays. Soleiman says, Minks to Westergaard. Soleiman, Westergaard has an injury, kind of doubt, so I wouldn't go there in my opinion. Why do you want to transfer out Mings? I'd say keep him. Budzili says, is Thiago Silva a nailed starter? I'd say pretty much, my friend. How many games has Thiago Silva missed, Aya? Let me see for you. How many games has Thiago Silva missed? Hasn't missed too many at all. The only one game in which he was rested. Other than that, he hasn't missed too many games. I'd say Thiago Silva is pretty much nailed on, yes, Fudzli. Winko says, when will you play your wildcard? Well, next game week is the last game week to use your game week 1 wildcard, so definitely gonna play it next week, Winko. Claire says, Bruno or DCL as captain? Well, Claire, I don't like either of the two too much, right? I think there are better options this game week. Salah, KDB, in my opinion, are better options, but if these are your two options, I'd say possibly Bruno Fernandes is better, slightly better. The reason I say that is because DCL doesn't have support. Richarlison is injured, James is possibly not gonna play, Dean is out. I honestly feel that maybe Bruno is the better option. Danford says, should I start Podence or Wilson? That is a tough one, but I'd say Wilson by a slight bit. Wilson is on penalties for Newcastle in case they get one, and Wilson is the striker, so if anybody's gonna score, Wilson might have a chance. Claire says, Bruno, I already answered that. Lee Fisher says, what do you think on El Ghazi? You could swap Grealish to El Ghazi and save 2 million, and El Ghazi is also on penalties. Lee, you're right about that, and if I was to keep Aston Villa players for a long time, I would possibly consider that. But after this game week, I'm gonna get rid of Watkins and Grealish, possibly. And also, I don't want to have any Aston Villa players for these fixtures. Chelsea, United, Spurs, Everton. Honestly, I don't think that there's a point in having Aston Villa players in these fixtures. So in my opinion, they're gonna go. My formation is 4-5-1. This week, I don't think Wilson will get any points against City. What do you think? Well, to be honest with you, City has been playing well, right? But if you have Wilson in your team, and you don't have any other options, you can't start him. Guys, one thing you need to understand and you need to know in FPL, we cannot expect every week all our 11 players to score points. Just remember this, guys. I mean, I know we look at our teams in different ways and we kind of analyze our team in different ways. But the one thing which we should not be expecting every week is all our players to score, good points every week. I mean, if 4 or 5 of your players get good points, there's a good chance that you'll be having a good game week. And on top of that, if you hit your captaincy right, I think you should be having a good game week. So that is my opinion. Lightrace says, give Wiz a like to stay on 30 minutes for Leicester versus Manchester United team news. Please, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would really appreciate if you do subscribe and if you enjoy what we do on here. John says, team for Gameweek 15. Martinez, Stones, Sofal, Chilwell, Salah, KDB, Grealish, Bruno, Wilson, Bamford, DCL, Wilson to Woodford free. I'd say why not, yeah. I like the idea, my friend. I'd say getting Chris Wood this game week would be a good idea. Not just for this game week, but for the next 3 game weeks. John, your team looks good. Suleiman says, if I don't spend any of my 2 free transfers, I'll get 2 free next week, right? Yeah, you're right, Suleiman. You can at most have 2 free transfers. Aditya says, if Wilson can get 9 points after doing nothing versus Fulham, surely he can get points against City. Well, we're not sure about that, my friend, because City is not the same animal as Fulham. City are really, really good defensively. signing Ruben Diaz has been really good for them, and John Stones coming back to full fitness has been good as well. So I'd say City is more defensively solid than many of the other teams in the Premier League this season. We couldn't say the same about them last season, but this season they are, definitely. Namrit says, just joined. Any news like the news of Salah last week? Well, Namrit, the only news we did have was Sofal has had a baby, and he might be on a parental leave or something like that, but that is not confirmed. The only thing is confirmed is that Sofal has had a baby on Christmas Day, and congratulations to him for that. Lee says, who will you bring in for Grealish? Lee, if I can, and I hope I can, I'd like to bring in Son and maybe Rafinha, on my wildcard next week. So check Rafinha, Son, these types of players I want to bring in, and maybe Grealish has to go. El Shibani says, Captain KDB or Salah? To be honest with you, there's not much between them, but the teams they are facing, I honestly feel that Salah is a flat track bully and he can totally hammer West Brom. Even though they are being coached by Sam Allardyce, I don't think they can keep out Liverpool, my friend, especially the way they are playing, right? Pro Gamer says, bro, I wish you do watch alongs of games. Well, Pro Gamer, I thank you so much for all your kind words. Unfortunately, it is my throat, right? I just, when I talk for a very long time, it just, doesn't support me. But hopefully, if we can grow the channel and we can have more people connected, then, we can plan for such things. One day, I hope, my friend. Lars says, should I bench Dyer or Sofal? To be honest with you, my friend, I'd say you play Sofal and bench Dyer. If Sofal doesn't start, then Dyer can come in, because I think Sofal is more attacking. Dyer can only at most give you 6 points, right? And Wolves have a potential of scoring at least 1 goal. Suleiman says, hate the idea of burning a transfer. Well, Suleiman, didn't you see what happened to me last week? I hated to burn a transfer, so I transferred out Salah, I brought in Kane, and I lost 30 points in the process. It is better to burn a transfer, bro. Trust me, learn from the best. Learn from the best. I totally kicked out 30 points out of my team. Oh, John says, thanks Wiz, hope you have a good game week. Best of luck, see you soon. Good luck, John. I think your team looks good, and I hope you have a great game week, my friend. Fadzali says, Bone or Rafinha for long term? To be honest with you, my friend, I'm tempted to say Jared Bowen, but I'd say they both look good. Because from West Ham United, you can get Soucek as well. I'd say long term, you can get Soucek and Rafinha, and you can possibly rotate between them, because Bowen and Rafinha are not in the same price bracket. Usman says, should I captain Firmino or Salah? My friend, captain Salah. When in doubt, Captain Salah. Smelly Wab says, 10 minutes to go. By the way, guys, if you haven't locked your teams, I would say now would be a great time to go and lock your teams. Let me refresh my team for you to see, so that you can see this, and I can confirm this is my final team. My captain is Salah, my vice captain is Harry Kane, Taylor first on my bench, Bissouma second, Chilwell third. Yep, this is my team for the game week. Lee Fisher says, did Sofal have a baby? That's a miracle. Well, in itself, I guess, that's a great thing to happen to Sofal. But from an FPL point of view, he might take a parental leave, That is the only thing that I'm concerned about. Raja says, Wiz, I hope you don't make any panic transfers. Never again, Raja. No transfers late on my stream are going to happen from the last week's shambolic transfers that happened. I'm never gonna make any late transfers on my stream. No drama, no transfers. Karthik says, -4 to get Robertson for Grealish. I've only 2 fit defenders. Karthik, if you can tell me your team, I'd be better placed to help you. If you can tell me your full team. Raja says, just stick with your team. Yep, my friend, already sticking. Bakyat says, get your teams locked, my friend. Only 5 minutes to go. If you haven't locked your teams, I'd say it would be a good time to go and lock your teams, my friends. Usman says, is Firmino a good captain? if I were to captain him this game week, honestly, my friend, I'd say he's not a better captain option than Salah. Fadzali says, I can't get Bone and Rafinha. My mid will be KDB, Bruno, Rashford, Son, Rafinha. I think you've already got a lot invested in your team, my friend. I'd say Rafinha. Karthik says, Mccarthy. I don't understand, Karthik. Just write your full team, then I would be able to better help you. Salam says, keep KDB or bring in NATO. No chance, bro. Keep KDB, please. Please keep KDB. Pro Gamer says, bro, I think your channel is the best FPL channel. Pro Gamer, thank you so much for your kind words, my friend. I hope one day I can make it into the best FPL channel, and that is what I'm trying towards, and I keep trying to improve my content. Hopefully, my friend, one day we're gonna get there. Bakshot says, think it will be an exciting game week. I think so too, my friend. And having football back in itself is a blessing. My head has been fried since the past week. Sofal, Lamptey, Dallas, Mitchell. Lamptey is injured. Mitchell is not gonna play. Chilwell is not gonna play. Zaha, Salah, Grealish. The only players who are gonna play are Sofal and Dallas. My friend, if you wanna transfer someone out, I'd say transfer out maybe Zaha or Grealish. You could even maybe transfer out Chilwell for somebody like Cancelo, and then you're gonna have 3 playing defenders in Sofal, Dallas, and Cancelo. So you don't need to take out Grealish or Zaha. You can just take out one defender and update the other one, and you're gonna have enough defenders to play. That could be an option, bro. Lightray says, Wiz, if you end up coming second in the world by 29 points, we will all know what happened. My friend, I would love to come second any day. Coming second, coming 10th, coming 10th in FPL in itself is a great achievement. I've achieved a rank of 500, and I was pretty satisfied with that. So if you can come in the top 1k, it is absolutely close to being, logically being the best result for you. Coming on number 1 involves a lot of luck as well. Osman says, I took out Mahrez. Is that a good choice, and replaced him with Grealish? For this game week, yes. For long term, we'll find out, because Aston Villa has difficult fixtures, bro. Guys, 2 minutes left, and lock your teams. Karthik says, Son, Bamford, DCL. I like your team, Karthik. Just take out one defender and put in another, update. Take out Chilwell for somebody like, Cancelo or Joel Matip, and you should be fine to go. X2 Flair says, hey Flair, welcome, my friend. Guys, Flair does have a YouTube channel as well, and do go and check him out whenever possible. HK says, keeper sell Westergaard and Chilwell have got Diaz, Sofal, and Balbuena on the bench. To be honest with you, I'd say you can keep them, because Chilwell has been in training, and Westergaard doesn't have a big problem either, so I wouldn't be against keeping them. Zod says, is it okay to ask a Game Week 16 question? Yes, why not, Zod? It is definitely okay. I might answer you after the deadline has passed, but yeah, it's fine. Joe Hale says, I did Firmino in and DCL out. Well, that is an interesting move. I like it, Joe. Let's see how it pans out for you. Good luck. Mark says Chilwell for Cresswell. Yeah, I wouldn't be against that. I think Cresswell has some good fixtures, and if you want, you can go for him. Last minute, guys. Last minute. Karthik says Zaha or Grealish. Karthik, don't transfer out anyone. Take out Chilwell for Cancelo and play 3 defenders. But if you want to take out one of those 2, I'd say maybe Zaha. Fadzali says, I do know Fulham asset isn't really good, and the only Fulham player that's good is Lookman, but I follow my guts and I got in Reed for Brewster. Need it for my double game week. Well, good luck to you, my friend. You need to make decisions based on your gut, and I'm so glad that you did that. Smellyweb says, locked, loaded, in time for some Zen. Well, Zen out, everyone. The deadline has passed, and now we can all relax, and we can pray for our teams. KDB and Cancelo, good picks for City this week. Salam, absolutely fantastic picks, my friend. Well, guys, So the deadline has passed, and I hope we were able to answer all your questions, because today there were a lot of questions, and I tried to answer every single one of them as I do every week. But sometimes you have to get your answers from the questions of others, because the questions are sometimes repetitive as well. But I did hope that I was able to answer most of them. Jose says, McCarthy or Martinez? Jose, the deadline has passed, my friend, and well, now it is the one which you've had has been locked. Lightra says, thanks Wiz, great 90 minutes. Well, cheers, my friend. I had a great time as well. I wasn't in the most cheerful of mood when I came on the stream, but it's much better now. I always enjoy coming here and talking about FPL to all of you. Meliab says, thanks for another great stream, Wiz. You're welcome, my friend. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and staying with me for such a long time. These deadline streams are no longer 1 hour. I actually give them 90 minutes, and you stay here for such a long time, and that is really appreciable. Lightway says, it goes so fast. Well, that's nice to hear, my friend. Hudsley says, would you consider taking Martinez out in your wildcard? We have a bad fixture, I know, but who will you bring in for him? I will consider taking him out, Fudsley, but I currently don't know who I'm going to bring in for him. So, Jug says, more the honey, more the bees. Well, let's hope we get some good points. The honey needs to be more. Lee says, what time is it for you? Lee, it's 4:30 in the evening, so it's a pretty good time for me to log out of the stream and have a good cup of tea, right? Shopnan says, good video, good luck guys. Good luck to you too, Shopnan. Marvel says, Walker replacement. Well, you can go for Cancelo, my friend, like for like. By the way, guys, had lots of fun talking to you, but as all good things, this stream must now come to an end as well. And time for us all to go have a quick cup of tea before the matches start, and then you can join me on Twitter, guys. You can join me on Twitter. You can follow me at WizFPL. You want to connect with me more, you can join our Discord. They're all free. So, at WizFPL on Twitter, and the Discord link is in my description. So you're all welcome to join, guys. So with this, guys, with these words, I'd like to bring the stream to an end. I hope you all had fun, and take care of yourselves, guys, and your families. May the arrows be green. FPL Visit signing out. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.